Welcome back, everyone, to the Song of Waves and Wind, where we have arrived in Morlod, and I need to speak with the steward to have permission to quest in this area. Let's see what he has to say. Hello there, Mathalam.
I must admit that I did not expect you to return to the Blackroot Vale so soon. You are, of course, welcome to remain here as long as you wish.
Well, it's good to hear that. Yes, it is good to see that you're well, and it glads my heart to know that you survived that terrible war with Mordor. The Blackroot Vale lost many, oh, too many of its sons in the defense of Minas Tirith and the battles that followed, as I'm certain that you know well. I must admit that I didn't expect to see you return here so soon. You are welcome to remain here as long as you wish. Lord Wayhere has matters of his own to attend to, and I have the authority to grant you his permission. I must ask, though, what business brings you here? You're here on behalf of the king. You must pardon my candor, but perhaps it's best that you have come in the king's stead. The Vale mourns, and though it may indeed be a new time of peace, my people found little of it. Oh? What's going on?
Much has changed since you last visited the Vale, my friend. The war exacted a heavy toll upon us, and many of our bowmen did not return from their journey to Minas Tirith.
Ah, yes, unfortunate. Morlod has borne the greatest loss in the Vale, with many of its sons being slain in the war, and in especial the Lord's sons, Dwelin and Dirfin. They were beloved amongst the people of Morlod, and it is a great sorrow that neither of them will be heir to his lordship of the Vale. Between the news that King Elessar would not come to the Vale, of the baseless rumors that Lord Dwynham slew an emissary of the Haradrim in Minas Tirith, the people of Morlod believed that the Blackroot Vale has come to be known as a place of disrepute, a place of low-born criminals not worthy of the king's attention. Such a thing cannot be true, of course. After all, the king was swift to pardon the lord when the true culprit was identified, but alas, voices carried through Minas Tirith and into Gondor. That's another matter, though. If you have come on behalf of the king, then let us continue your work. It is true that you are an emissary of King Elessar, but, more importantly, you are held in high regard amongst the people of the Vale. Your presence could do much to ease the misgivings in the aftermath of the war, Pineleaf. I would ask that you travel to the hamlets of Algarat, Sardol, and Lancraft to deliver word of King Elessar's gratitude to their people. Oh, and Tingabel, of course. It has been rebuilt since you were last here in the Vale, and his people will be pleased to see you again. May you find good fortune in this errand, Pineleaf. Let us hope that peace is closer than it seems. Well, we can only hope. Now, let's see what the people here need. So I need to visit these 4 hamlets, and I still need to inconvenience some ruthless dead. Well, let us see what Uidor has to say.
Might I trouble you with a more private matter, my friend? One of my bowmen, Agnir, has taken an unexpected leave of his duties here in Morlod.
It's not like Agnir to him, at least not as we was before he set off to the war, the Lord Dwyn here, but now, and it pains me to say it, I can scarcely recognize him. Before he left, few could contest that he was one of Lord Dwayne's most skilled bowmen, only equaled by the Lord himself and his 2 sons, Dwylin and Dirifin. When Agnir returned, I saw in his eyes a sorrow not unlike that of Lord Dwynhere and Lady Rosefin. But I don't know why it has taken hold of him. I've asked him, but he will not answer, and now he has gone so far as to leave Morlod. do not misunderstand, my friend. I would not see him punished, but I worry for him, and I worry that he may not return to us at all. From what I have heard, Egnir is last seen traveling southward towards Algarat. Will you seek him out and ask him to come home to Morlot? Well, I guess we could go to Algarat. I mean, we have to go there anyway to deliver our missive, right? Here's Algarat, the first of the locations I need to visit. Now let's see how welcoming we are. If I remember correctly, this is a village of hunters. I know the last time they weren't allowed to leave their area and hunt, but I think that was during the war. I'm sure things are more open now, I hope. Well, here is Kalanan. Hello there.
Welcome back to Alagrant, my friend. To what do I owe this visit?
You inform Kalanan that you have come on behalf of King Elessar to deliver a message to the people of Alagrant. Kalanan calls over the other inhabitants of Alagrant and steps back to allow you to speak. You offer your sincere gratitude to the people of Alagrant, and a few among them appear heartened by the words, while others appear entirely uninterested. You apologize on behalf of King Elessar for the severe edicts during the war, including the brief suspension of their hunts by order of Mathelon, and a few people in the crowd grumble in affirmation. As your speech concludes, the remaining crowd disperses. I appreciate your words, my friend, and I think many of the Vale would find them in its comfort. However, whether the king visits us or not is not of terrible concern to many of us here in Alagrant. Although we are all thankful that the terrible war has ended, it is no secret that we were sheltered from the worst of its horrors. We're simple hunters, after all. If King Elessar wishes to offer his gratitude to us, though, I wouldn't refuse it. Perhaps he can visit Alagrant himself when he next wishes to see the Blackroot Vale. All right? And we also have the question about the missing hunter. Archer.
Egnir, you say? Yes, a man by that name did pass through the other day, but he left not long after he arrived. Why don't you ask Sarnir if he knows where he's gone?
Yes. I must admit that I didn't take time to speak with him. He had a grim look about him, and it seems to me that he would not welcome a conversation. Even so, Sarnir tried to talk to him. It seemed a bit one-sided, though, but I did hear Egnir answer him on a few occasions. Why don't you ask Sarnir about this? Okay, Sarnir. Alright, so we'll speak to Sarnir. And there is Sarnir right over here, right?
Ah yes, Egnir was here for a brief time. He told me he had a matter to attend to in the woods just outside Alagrant, but he would not say more of it. I must confess, I spied him carving something into one of the trees just to the west.
Alright. Yes, I did see him follow, because my curiosity got the better of me, so I followed him at a great distance. I spied him carving something into one of the trees just to the west, but I dared not interrupt him, and I made my way back to Alagrant before he was finished. I did speak to Egnir when he returned, and he said that he was going to meet someone, but I can't remember the name of the man that he mentioned. It started with an L, but what was it? Oh, I haven't been back to see his handiwork in the woods, so why don't you go and find out what he was carving? In the meantime, I'll try to remember the man's name. Alright, fine, I will look for a carving. So he was upset. I think he went all the way here just to carve something into a tree? This is getting weird. Hello, Dirion. Oh yeah. I was about to ask where your dog was, but it looks like he's sleeping here. Well, I think that's good news.
Draug has lost his favorite toy somewhere in the woods, and try as I may, I haven't been able to find it. Draug could likely find it himself, but there are traps about, and I would not risk him stepping into one of them. I call his toy Blue because it is blue, and, well, you'll understand.
Yes, I had not heard that you were returned to the Vale. Oh, what business brings you here? Ooh. Oh, you must excuse the manner of my behavior when last I visited the Vale. Yes, I was perhaps too vocal in my displeasure with the steward's leadership, and you didn't deserve the harsh welcome to Alagrant. But if you are here to aid us, well, yes, about this blue toy here. I was wondering if you would go and take a look at the traps outside of Alagrant. If it's not in one of those, it's probably lost, but I would appreciate it if you would look for it just the same. Oh, I will look for blue. Yeah, right. Well, I was wondering if there's anything new on the bounties boards. Kurzgloak the Many-Legged. Is that a spider? The post-it note advertises a bounty on a spider of the Blackroot Vale known as Kurzgloak, described as a terrifying great spider and devourer of its own kind lurking in the caverns of Hlingroth. Well, it looks like there's still spiders up there. And it invites any who claim to have slain Kurzgloak to speak with Melrir in the hamlet of Sardo. Well, that's nice and convenient to where the spider is. You'll notice that there's a hasty addition that has been scrawled in a different handwriting at the bottom of the note, demanding that Kurzgloak's mandible be collected as proof of its defeat. Alright, apparently she decided she wanted a little bit more. Actually, no, it said different hand there. Okay, what do you have here? Dochvor and Hulthok. Well, what's this all about? The post-it note advertises a bounty on the pair of elder wolves that have taken up in the Blackroot Vale known as Dochfor and Hulthok, describing them as a vicious and bloodthirsty pack leaders of mates, and the foul parentage of many of the most aggressive wolves in the western reaches of Gondor. It suggests that those who would seek to hunt Dochfor and Hulthok should collect the carcass from one of the deer in the Blackroot Vale. The wolves are notoriously reclusive and would not appear to feast upon the fresh kill. Would only appear, yes. You notice that there is a note demanding the pelts of Dochfor and Hulthok as proof of their demise, and it invites those who have fulfilled the bounty to speak with Gurion in the hamlet of Longcroft. Right? So we've got a couple of bounties here. Well, I guess we could see if we can find anything about that. Now, let's go see if I can find anything in the traps. And anything in the trees. How aggressive are those birds? Hedgeroval. Probably reasonably... Okay, unreasonably aggressive, apparently. Well, we'll deal with them then. That'll probably calm their aggressiveness a bit. Now, is there... And here we go. Ah! Here's a trap. Well, apparently the birds aren't going to fall into the trap. Must be that flying bit that they have that keeps that from happening. Oh, okay, now I see the trap. Definitely not a bird trap. Well, I guess unless there was something that they would like to eat in the middle of the trap or something like that. The trap is empty, and you see no sign of blue. Well, oh, here's another trap. I don't see any sign of blue here. Nothing blue here. Here's another trap. I see the trap is empty, and I see no. I think I'm probably more concerned about the fact that there's nothing in any of these traps, but maybe they were just laid out recently. How about this? Nope, no sign of blue. Oh, still no sign of blue, but what's this? A knife in the tree. Although the carving has been defaced by deep slashes, it still clearly reads E plus D. E plus D? Sounds like a love carving or something like that. Well, I still need to find blue. How about this trap? I don't see anything blue here either. No blue, no lavender, no pink. Well, maybe a slight amount of green. Green and gray is all I see around here. No blue. The only thing starting with B I see around here are a bunch of birds. Oh, hold on. A small colorful object is caught in a nearby trap. Catches. Oh. Oh, look at that. The only trap that's sprung has blue in it. Well, let's see what this is. Blue appears to be a doll made in the likeness of the men of the mountains. Alright. Then let's head back to the village. Well, let's see if this is it. Here you go. Drog howls, right? And with excitement, and practically snatches blue away from my hand. All right.
Oh, wonderful! Look how happy Draug is. I must admit, I'd begun to worry that blue was lost for good. I could have sewn another, of course, but it never would have been quite the same. And besides, Draug would have figured it out.
I can't thank you enough, Pine Leaf. All right, you're welcome. Okay, so we've got that done. I found the drawing.
Defaced? Perhaps I was mistaken. Maybe it was carved some time ago then by another's hand or even Egnia's own. As you describe it, it seems to me a sort of lover's mark. But I say some sorrow must lay heavy upon Egnia's heart. For what other reason would he travel so far from Morlad to try to rid himself of it?
That is a good question. I suppose the E is meant to refer to Egnir, but D could refer to countless people in the Vale. One thing is for certain, and that is that it does not refer to Dirian over there. I don't believe that he and Egnir have ever exchanged a single word. Well,
I finally recalled the name of that man Egnir meant to meet. Ludir. I believe he's one of the Lord's archers, but I couldn't say where to find him. Who sent you here again? Widor, was it? You ought to ask him then.
I know Widor to be one of the Lord's finest captains in Morlad, and so he will surely know better than I. I do hope that you find this Ignir, my friend. It seems the sorrows have been taken hold of him, and I know all too well how difficult that embrace can be to break. Right, so I will speak to Widor on that. But first, I think I got a couple other things, because I want to go and visit the village of spiders. Actually, before I do that, maybe I should just deal with those wolves. the spider bounty I can take care of when I reach Sardal, but I'm going to need to get a deer carcass in order to get those wolves. There we go. Now I have a deer carcass. What do I do with this thing? That's right, I need to bring it here to Aaron Lasgath. The southeast of the hill of Erech, you have discovered the wolf den of Aaron Asgath. Whether these wolves crept in from Lebanon or through a hidden refuge in the hills, their presence in the vale has posed a continued threat to the hamlet of Lancroth and all those who would seek to travel the road through Tarlang's Neck. You should defeat wolves here in Asgath, that the people of Lancroth will be made safe and the road through Tarlang's Neck. Alright? So defeat 12 wolves. Now, are the main wolves going to count for that? I need to defeat wolves here. Alright, and place the deer carcass somewhere in here. I'm sure there's going to be a nice glowy spot that will represent the proper location. I'll just look for it as I thin out these wolves. Ah, here's a nice place to set the deer. There you go. Oh. Oh, hello. You thought I was part of the deer? No, you're not going to summon the other half of the pack. There you go. Whoops. Hey, where is the... Oops. Bulthik loses a terrible howl, of course, as he falls. Then Lothbor attacks a vengeful fury. Alright, fine. Elite. Oh my goodness gracious. No, you're not going to do that. Alright. Was the first one also elite, or was I just not paying attention there? Ah. Alright, she's gone. We're done there. Well, I'll just have to bring these little pieces over when I have time. But I am going to head over to the Spider Village, which is where I am going to meet you in the next episode of The Song of Waves and Wind.